Rarity Sprains Her Hoof Applebucking by Super Pink Brony 12. Read by Goombasa. Applejack was worried. She had a bad feeling about this. "Now, Rarity, you be careful," the farm pony warned. "If you don't get the bucking just right, you could sprain a hoof." Alas, her plea fell on deaf ears. "I am perfectly familiar with the apple-bucking process, thank you very much," Rarity replied, paying no attention to Applejack's warning. "But while you seem to rely on raw power, I believe a certain amount of style is in order. It's really more of a dance, if you ask me." "Rarity, I'm warning you, don't do it," Applejack pleaded. But it was too late. Rarity happily hummed a small tune, all the while performing what appeared to be some sort of dance. Then she reared up and kicked the nearby apple tree as hard as she could. A loud crack echoed through the orchard. Both Applejack and Trenderhoof gasped in shock. An apple fell from the tree into Rarity's basket, but Rarity took no notice, for at that very moment a sharp pain began spreading out through the back of her hoof. It did not feel good, and Rarity was obviously straining to hold back the urge to scream in pain. To no avail, as the pain quickly became too much to bear. Rarity shrieked so loudly that all of Ponyville could hear. The loud noise made Applejack and Trenderhoof cover their ears. "Horse apples! This hurts!" Rarity shouted. "Are you okay, Rarity?" Applejack asked. No, I am not okay," Rarity said. "This is the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life." "Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so," Applejack said. She was worried about Rarity, but she couldn't help laughing. "What is so funny? Can't you see I'm in pain?" Rarity asked. "Of course I can, but I warned you what would happen if you messed up," Applejack said. "Looks like you learned your lesson the hard way." "Just shut up already," Rarity said. "You would not believe how much this hurts." "Oh, I'm sure it's pretty painful," Applejack said. "Now perhaps I could get a bit of a damage report, if you'll allow me, that is." "What are you going to do?" Rarity asked. "I just need to see how badly messed up your hoof is," Applejack said. "Hey, Trenderhoof." "Yes, Applejack?" Trenderhoof asked. Rarity's condition had snapped him out of his love-stricken trance, at least for now. "Think you could help me out here?" Applejack asked. "What do you want me to do? I don't know any first aid spells," Trenderhoof said. "I'm not the most talented with magic." "I'm not asking you to fix Rarity's hoof. I just need your magic to hold Rarity's hoof so I can get a good look at it without making things worse," Applejack explained. "Think you can do that for me?" "I'll try," Trenderhoof said nervously. Taking a deep breath, he lit up his horn and tried to concentrate on Rarity's hoof. The instant Rarity felt her hoof move, she cried and moaned in pain. It hurt so badly, and she wanted nothing more than for it to be over already. But despite fighting Trenderhoof every step of the way, she was unable to stop his magic, and it wasn't long before her hoof was no longer pressed up against the apple tree. It lay now firmly on the ground. Applejack examined the injured hoof carefully. She was no stranger to hoof injuries, having smashed up both her front and back hooves on several occasions, most of the time from landing wrong after a rodeo stunt. "Oh my, this ain't good. It's just as I feared," she said with concern. "Is she gonna be okay?" Trenderhoof asked. "She should be, but she's sprained that hoof of hers pretty badly," Applejack said gravely. "I gotta get her to the hospital ASAP." "Well then, I guess I shouldn't stop you. Take care," Trenderhoof said. "Not so fast," Applejack said. "I can't carry her on my own, and I doubt Rarity can wait for some pony to pass by. I'm gonna need you to help me carry her to the hospital." "But what do you need me for?" Trenderhoof asked. "Aren't you friends with Princess Twilight Sparkle?" "Well, that may be, but this is an emergency, and you're the closest pony with magic," Applejack explained. "You can't possibly expect me to hold her with my magic," Trenderhoof said. "Even the most powerful of unicorns couldn't do that." "Who said anything about holding her?" Applejack asked. "Look over there, do you see that empty cart?" "Yes," Trenderhoof replied. "I don't see where you're going with this, though." "It's simple. I'll go fetch the cart, and then when I come back, I'll need you to lift her up onto it," Applejack said. "And I'll need you to ride with her, because she's probably going to need to hold on to your hoof quite sternly. She's going to be in a lot of pain." I understand, Trenderhoof said, already dreading it. But he was not going to let an innocent pony suffer on his watch. Besides, he'd do anything for Applejack. I got the cart. Hurry up and load her onto it, Applejack instructed, already having hitched herself to the empty cart. All right, Trenderhoof said nervously. Rarity did not like being lifted into the air by Trenderhoof's magic, especially when it made the pain even worse. Put me down this instant, she demanded. Just take it easy, Rarity. He's only trying to help, Applejack said. And who said I need his help? Rarity asked. I can manage just fine, thank you very much. I'd love to see you try, but you're in no condition to be moving at all, Applejack said. You so much as trot on that thing and you'll be in pain. Do you mean to tell me you'd rather limp all the way to the hospital with a sprained hoof? Well, when you put it that way, I guess not, Rarity said. She stopped fighting and allowed Trenderhoof to levitate her onto the cart. Trenderhoof then hopped up beside her. Hang on tight, Rarity. I'll get you to the hospital or bust, Applejack shouted and took off as fast as she could, all the while trying not to make the ride too uncomfortable for Rarity. Trenderhoof was amazed at how calm Rarity seemed to be, but the calm didn't last long. Rarity suddenly shrieked again and grabbed Trenderhoof's hoof tightly. Trenderhoof fought the urge to pull it away. Rarity, for her part, shouted and cursed all the way to the hospital. Her cries of pain could be heard everywhere. At last, after what seemed like forever, but really wasn't, Applejack arrived at the hospital. Stay here while I go get a doctor, she instructed Trenderhoof. She then unhitched herself from the cart and ran inside. This is so embarrassing, Rarity said, not long after Applejack left. It's okay, Rarity, Trenderhoof said. We've all done stupid things at some point in our lives. I've actually hurt myself a lot worse. Really? Ow! Rarity said, her sprained hoof still making itself known. Yes. In fact, I once broke all 4 of my hooves on a journey to Lost Pegasus, Trenderhoof said, and he told Rarity all about it. By the time he had finished, a team of nurses came rushing out to the front door, moving Rarity onto a stretcher and carrying her into the hospital. Well, Miss Rarity, I must say, I never expected to see you, of all ponies, end up in the hospital, Nurse Redheart scolded as she wheeled Rarity down the hall. I know, but I guess today is a day for surprises, Rarity said. The nurses had already given her an IV to numb the pain from her sprained hoof. Rarity's sprained hoof turned out to be nothing serious, but she was forced to travel around in a wheelchair for a few days. The doctors warned her to take it easy and to not try applebucking again without proper instruction. Thankfully, her injury wasn't anything serious, and the Ponyville Days Festival still went on as planned. But Rarity learned 2 valuable lessons. The first was that you shouldn't change who you are just to impress someone else. And the second, applebucking was dangerous and best left to the apples. She just hoped her friends wouldn't tease her too much about her accident. She had been humiliated enough as it was, especially in front of Trenderhoof, who quickly apologized for getting so fascinated by Applejack, as he believed that was the reason why Rarity had attempted applebucking in the first place, and he was right. The end.